Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at the Monkees version of ImABeliever. This is a great one to have a look at if you're in that sort of beginner to intermediate stage. It's got a bit of chords, it's got a bit of rhythm, and it's even got a solo that I've picked out for you. To accompany this lesson, there's a 5-page PDF that you can grab for free, which has the chord charts. It's got all the lead tabs, and it's 4 pages, not 5. And it's got the chord charts as well. You can download that either from our Facebook group, which is the first link in the description. All of the tabs I've ever done can be downloaded directly there for free. Alternatively, if you click the second link in the description, you can sign up to our mailing list, and every week you'll get an email with all the tabs that we've covered that week. Right, let's get into it. So, you can play this on acoustic or electric guitar, because we're kind of going for that surfy kind of vibe. I've got the Jazzmaster out today, but as long as it's in standard tuning and it's got 6 strings, you'll be okay. So here are the 5 chords that we're going to work on today. We've got a G chord, a C chord, a D chord. We've also got D7 as a variation, we'll talk about that later. And I've put F major 7 in here to make it more accessible to learners. If you know how to play the regular bar chord F, put that in its place for me, okay? Right then, so we're going to start with, you've got the organ intro where it does a couple of chords. He says, we're going to use the chapters feature. We're going to get to all the lead stuff in the second half of the video, okay? If you skim along the play line at the bottom, you'll be able to jump to whatever you want to. We're also going to look at we're going to have a look at that as well, but let's just tackle the rhythm to start with. Now, for the first 3 bars, we're just going to rest if you're doing strictly rhythm, but then we're going to go into the verse. Now, we're going to play a G chord, and the pattern I've picked for this is down, 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 up, down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Try that with the G chord. Down, 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 up, down. Now this pattern's going to follow us for the rest of the tune, so really spend the time now and it'll make the rest of the song much easier for you. So we've got a bar of G, D, G, G again. And that's the I thought love was only true in fairy tales, it's that bit. We're going to repeat this twice as a verse. It's 8 bars long, so we're going to play this section. If you go to the PDF, you can see the first 2 lines. You've got that's on your screen, and we're literally going to repeat it in the second line. Pause the video, get that under your fingers for me. If you're feeling fairly confident with that, let's move on to the pre-chorus. Now the pre-chorus is love is out to get me, that's the way it seems. Now, he goes to a C chord, and the strumming patterns just staying the same. Love's out to get me, that's the way it seems. Disappointment hided all my dreams. We'll come back to that D7 over here in a second. Let's just tackle this fella first. So you got a bar of C. Sorry, I'll do the right strumming pattern. That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? G, C, G. This song has a lot of C to G in it. If you struggle with that change, this is a banging one to look at. Moving on to the second part of the pre-chorus, it's just another C and a G. Then we're going to go to D7. Now, if you don't know D7, you can just play a regular D in its place, but it does have this lovely kind of, I say to my students at the school here, the 7th chords can sound like the Beatles. It's that sound, it sounds really cool. So you're going to play the D7 here in the 3rd bar with the same strumming pattern that we've used for the rest of the song. But then as we enter this next bar here, you are just going to play the first beat of the bar, and then these are called rests. What I want you to do is, after you've played the first beat of this last bar, I want you to just touch the strings. Doesn't matter which hand, you just need to stop the guitar resonating. So I'll strum the 3 bars as normal, and then I hit the first downstroke of this bar, and then stop everything from ringing out. You'll go C, G, G, D, stop, and I saw her face. Yeah? Let's just quickly recap those two. So, C, G, C, G, 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 C, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Pause the video and get that under your fingers. Like I said, having the PDF here is really going to help you because there's only so much I can fit on the screen until you can see me at the same time, yeah? So you've got an 8-bar verse and an 8-bar pre-chorus. If you stitch those together, it'll start to sound really good. Now, as we go into the chorus, the strumming pattern stays the same, but now there's two chords per bar. Now, what I'd like you to do, let's zone in down here. We're going to play a G chord, and I'd like you to strum that twice with 2 downstrokes, and that's beat 1 and 2 of the bar. I then want you to change super duper quickly to a C chord, and then play the remainder of the strumming pattern. You can see the strumming pattern's the same as what we've been doing, but we're just changing chord halfway through. So do 2 downstrokes on a D, C, 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 down, 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 up, down. Now, I think it's worth reiterating, if you're new here and you haven't seen any of my lessons before, the way that I sort of score all this out, I'll put the rhythm in the first bar, and then when I put 4 dashes in the music, it's just telling you to keep going with the same rhythm until you're told otherwise. So the rhythm technically hasn't changed at this point, has it? But the chords have in the bar, and I wanted to talk about it in the video. So that's why I've put the crotchets and the quavers in here. But then, as you get to the 4 dashes in the music, it's just business as usual. Just keep on keeping on, okay? Now, we're going to play this C to G figure for 8 bars. So you're going to be sat on it for quite a while, and it's an excellent couch muscle memory exercise. G, C, 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 down, 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 up, down. Coming from the and I saw her face, now I'm a believer. It's that bit. And you're just going to keep going with that 8 times until you hit the next bit. Again, refer to the PDF. This is, I'm looking here at the top of page 2, where you've got a chorus. And it's literally 8 bars of that. I don't know if you can see that. Essentially what I've put at the bottom of the screen, we're going to play twice, and then we're going to look down here, which often causes a bit of confusion. So let's go there now. So the last bit of the sort of rhythm parts of note, after you've played the G, C, you've done that 8 times. In bar 28, I just want you, again, you remember how we played that D7 and then stopped the guitar from ringing? That's what we're going to do in bar 28, but we're not even going to play the first beat of the bar. After you finish the chorus, I just want you to freeze for a bar. Imagine I'm playing the last bar. Now I think the lyrics, I'm in love. So you go, down in my mind. Sorry, I'm all wrong way. Down in my mind. I'm in love. Then you've got C, I'm a believer. So we do a complete sort of shift. After this pause here, we then play a C, hold it for 4 beats, play a G, hold it for 4 beats, play an F, or an F major 7, whichever is your preference, hold that for 4 beats, and then D7, can you see how we've got this? This is called a tie, this line that connects the 2. It's called a tie. What that means is you're going to play this D7 chord and you're actually going to hold it for 2 bars instead of 1. The tie connects the bar. You don't need to strum this a second time. Let me play from here. I'll count us in if you want to have a go with me from that C chord. Now it is relatively fast paced, but it is, again, this song's full of great chord changing muscle memory exercises. You got that C chord, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last thing a note for the rhythm stuff before we have a look at the lead. Can you see how at the end of this slide there's a repeat marker, that funny looking bracket, and then it says ×3. Now what you're going to do for this song, I've I've structured this in such a way that if you start at the verse, I thought love was only true in fairy tales, you play through all the subsequent slides and pretty much the whole document, and then you hit the reciprocal repeat marker over here. Can you see how it's still a bracket, but it's sort of facing inwards? It's almost like a closed bracket rather than an open bracket. I want you to repeat between that verse and the end of that chorus 3 times. So as soon as you hit that repeat marker, you go back up, work your way through like you normally do, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. Now on the second time round, you've got that organ solo. Now, we're not organ players, we're guitar players, and I've kind of figured out what they're playing, and something that if you don't have an organ player in your band, or you just want to jam along with the record, you can play this over it and it'll sound fine. We'll get to that in a second. Let's just sew up the last of the song. So, assuming that you've done the 3 repeats, at the very bottom of the record, the chorus continues to run, and you just go round and round and round that. You know how it says in the bottom right hand corner, loop to fade? What that means is you're just literally going to keep playing that until the record fades out. I think it's about 3.5 times that you'll play this line, but it's not a clear sort of stop. It definitely fades at some point, okay? So that's how we finish it. Right, let me sort my slides out. Let's have a look at some lead stuff. Right, I've had a shuffle about on my slides, so let's have a look at this intro. Now the whole intro looks like this, but I want to break it down because bar 1 is bar 1's the organ part, and then we've got the sort of little guitar lick. I've sort of put the 2 together because it's like a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a G chord, a bit of a D7 maybe. It's quite an interesting part, so let's have a look at it. So I'm going to rest on beat 1, but then on the hand of 2, I've got an open G. I'm then going to play the 3rd fret of the B string and the 1st fret of the high E string in a little dyad like that. Now I'm using pinky and index finger. I could use ring finger if I wanted to do. Try not to do it like that because you'll hurt your hand. I'm going to play that twice. So you've got open G, got that. Then I'm going to change. I'm going to play the 1st fret of the B string and then the open high E. Just a nice little lick. I did look at some things further up the neck, but it sounded more like it down here. We then go into the little guitar lick, which is very. You'll be forgiven for thinking both bars are the same. They are very similar, but it's how they finish that's a little bit different. So with the ring finger and the index finger, I'm going to hammer between the 3rd and the 5th fret of the A string. I'm then going to play the 3rd fret on the D string underneath it. Now I'm actually barring both of those 2. You see how I'm barring with this hand? And we're going to do that twice. And I'm going down, up with the plectrum. Try that for me. That's the first 6 notes of the first bar. As we get here, it's exactly the same, but can you see the sheet music underneath it has 2 lines? Those are called semiquavers. So you're going to play those twice as fast as you played the previous 2 hammer-ons. Yeah, I just rushed through that 3rd one. Try that for me. And then as we enter the second bar, it's the first 6 notes are exactly the same. And then instead of doing the quick one at the bottom, we're just going to play the C note on the 3rd fret of the A string to finish it. Now, to be honest, I tend to not have time to get that first note in. I'm already prepping for my G for the first chord of the verse. Glue all that together. Pause the video and get that under your fingers for me. If we're okay, let's have a look at this solo. And like now, I said previously that this is very, it's an organ that does it, but we can play it on guitar and it sounds pretty cool. I'd advise getting the PDF for this. This is all, both these parts are all laid out, nice and lovely for you to have a mess around with. We're going to start with the 5th fret of the D string. 5th fret, not 7th fret, James. It's been a long morning, can you tell? So we're going to play that 5th fret, then we're going to mute the string and play it again. That's what that little 7 means. So what it means is I'm going to play that 5, but I'm going to cut the note off in between. I'm not going to let that note ring out. I'm not going to go, I'm going to go. Can you see what I'm doing with my finger here? You see me relieving the pressure? And you actually hold the second one. We're then going to play the 3rd fret of the same string with the index finger. We're then going to move up to the 5th fret of the A string, and we're going to do that motion where we play a note and then mute it. We're going to do it 4 times. On the 4th time, we're moving on, so you don't need to mute it. But can you see how we cover a lot of ground there with one note? There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. And then we're going to play the 3rd and the 4th fret on the D string, and we're moving up to that 5th fret in the next slide, so don't worry, we're not going to hang around there. That note is a fruity one. And then we go into this like, do you know Wipeout by the Safaris? It has that kind of vibe. So we've come from 3, 4 on the D, we're then going up to the 5, and we're going to play that 3 times. Down and up picking, everybody. 3rd fret, 5th fret, and then we repeat it. 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 4. So you see as we get over here, we hit a repeat marker, and your first note is that 5th fret again, so it's sort of circular. If I put them all together like that, pause the video, get that under your fingers. And I'll rattle through that fairly quickly, but it's one of those where I think you really need to print it out and study it. The vast majority of that is done with the index and the ring finger, and then the middle finger for that 4th fret of the D string. So I hope you found that helpful. Remember, go get whichever way, whether you join the mailing list or you join the Facebook group, you can get all of this for free and every other lesson I've ever done. It's really going to help you with that fiddly stuff, and I'm doing a lot of lessons at the minute where I'm trying to get a little bit of rhythm and a little bit of leading, because some of you have been asking for it. So if you've got a recommendation, pop it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much. See you next week.